Hey, good evening. I wanted to pose a fun question. I don't know, fun question. We'll see where this goes. What are you looking at? The question I'm posing tonight is, what are you looking at? What are you focusing at? Where are you going? The reason I brought this up, wanted to bring this question up today, is I'll share a little post later today after we get off here. Um, as those of you that maybe follow along on social media or whatnot, I do like to ski. I get out there. I got 3 days in last week, which was exciting. That's the most I've gotten in the season. I went out this morning for a short while, and it was super foggy. It was pretty almost blind, but I knew I could get down the mountain. I knew the path. I knew a way to get down there. So for those of you that have never skied before, snow skied, one of the things you want to make sure you do when you're skiing is you don't want to look like literally down at your skis because you're going to fall. You will fall over. If you're looking at your skis, you're looking down. You need to be looking ahead. You need to be looking at where do you want to go. So I pose the question to you: what are you looking at? What are you focusing on? Where are you? Where is your attention? Where are you going? And I wanted to bring this up to you because I think this is just a great analogy of how often are we just kind of looking down, like literally what's like maybe right in front of us or looking down, and we're not lifting our head up high enough, and we're not looking out far enough ahead to prepare and to make sure that we're going in the right direction. At least, are we even moving? And so I wanted you to think about what are you looking at, and this idea can be applied really in all areas of your business, your body, your relationships, your spiritual walk. I look holistically at these things because I live by this code of body being balanced business, and this is what I include in my coaching. But what are you looking at? What's your we've talked about this in the past, kind of your compelling vision or where do you want to go. I had a powerful conversation with a person today about that, like because the team that I was working with wasn't entirely clear of the mission or the vision. Like, where are we actually trying to get to? Well, we're just doing more work. We're doing more work. Okay, that's good. I mean, the work that we do is good. Don't get me wrong, but it's much more powerful and motivating when we know we're going somewhere versus kind of anywhere. Um, and so if you're not looking ahead and kind of scouting out or scanning the horizon, if you will, again, what are you looking at? You're more apt to not show up and get in the direction you want to. For those of you that are my biologist friends, and for those of you that don't know, I've been a biologist for all my career. My degrees in zoology. I love outdoors. I love nature, and ever since I've been a little kid, I've loved hunting for lizards and critters. Well, for me, I've had to train myself as a biologist again to look ahead, to scan, to be observant and aware, and to train myself to look for certain things. Um, and so, one fun stories are looking for. I look for lizards or tortoises or whatnot in the past here as part of my career. And if you're not looking, especially for fast moving animals, those of you who are interested in this, if you're not looking and scanning ahead and you're kind of keeping your head down, you actually will miss the animals. They're gone before you even have a chance. But now if you're looking up and you're scanning and you're getting a vision and you're saying, okay, what am I looking at? What am I trying to assess? You have a much better chance at seeing that animal or wildlife, for example. So maybe you guys wanted to look at for wildlife and other things, let me know. That's something fun that I still love to do, bird watching and all that other stuff. But again, what am I looking for, right? What am I looking at? What am I seeing? And so if you're not paying attention to that, you're going to miss the mark. And I want to encourage you to be intentional about what are you looking at, right? How often are we being unintentional and we'll grab our phones, right? We'll scroll without any intention. Guilty here. I'm not trying to throw stones at you. I'm as guilty here. What I'm sharing with you is things that I've learned and struggled and gotten better at, and I've learned ways to help me focus. I was in my warrior council group together talking with men and women about where are we at on our impossible game? What are we looking at? What are we trying to get to? And then looking at our monthly missions and how are we showing up there? And are we on target, off target? What are we doing? And how are we changing our gaze? What are we going to actually focus in on here going forward? So we want to make sure that we have a productive results, that we're making progress and we're making progress in the right direction. We're going in there. We're making the steps. And I'm not saying you have to be leaps and bounds, but you're in that process of moving forward and you're kind of constantly allowing yourself to look at. But again, I'm going to date myself here for a minute. Back in the day, we didn't always have GPS units, right? And so we would have to use compasses or bearings, right? And you would have a compass and you would pick out the compass, you look at that, but then you'd actually have to shoot a bearing. You'd actually have to look at a tree or something in the horizon. And because what you're doing is you don't want to keep looking literally down here when you're walking this is a biologist thing here, but if you're walking a transit, if you're going somewhere, you have to keep your head up. You have to be pointing and looking, where do I want to go? And not be like down here because I'll tell you, I did that. I would be like this too much. And before you know it, I was drifting, drifting, drifting. And how many of us have drifted to, it starts with a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, because we've taken our eyes off of looking at what we really want and we get distracted by these things around us. And so, just coming back to this idea this morning where I was just literally skiing and I was like so hard to see, but I knew I couldn't just keep looking down. I had to look as far ahead as I could. In that case, I couldn't look very far, but I had to look as far as I could at that moment in time to make sure that I could get down the path and go to the direction that I knew I needed to get to. I knew there's a way I could find my way down that way. Now, don't get hung up on getting all perfect. You're not going to get it all perfect. You're going to make pivots. You're going to make corrections along the way. Any journey, any path, I've done enough hiking and like you're like, oh, I want to get to that point. Well, there's ways it's not always a straight route, right? That's okay, but we know where we're trying to get to and we're clear about that. And if you're not clear about that or you're struggling with that, then drop number one, if you are clear, drop comments in here in this feed here. I'd love to hear that. What has worked well for you? But if you're feeling, no, it's not quite there, I'm not quite entirely clear, I'm not sure what the hang up is. Is it my understanding of myself? Is it the tools that I'm using? Hi, Carla. Um, if you're kind of getting hung up and you're like, I'm not making the progress that I wanted to, it's probably because you're not looking at in the right direction or getting oriented in the right way. That's where a great coach or consultant can help you. That's why I started Steward Your Business. That's why I come on live every day to give you resources and feedback and insights to hopefully help you pivot. And then if you think, hey, I need some more, well, come talk and we can work together. But the point is, like, taking a moment to evaluate, are you where you want to be in your business and your finances, or with your wife or your children? Are you in those places? Because if you're not, then what is it that you're looking for? What are you shooting for? What are you looking at? Right? So think about that. Consider that question. I want you to mull it over. If you watch this, share your thoughts. You can put in a comment here, or simply just send me a direct message. I want to hear from you. It's really important to hear what resonates and what doesn't resonate. And honestly, if you think, hey, David, you're completely off base, fine. Let me hear it. I want to know what you're thinking and what's going through your mind. And if you feel like this can help somebody too, share it, right? We need to be vocal in saying what's working for us and what's not working for us, and be of value to the other people around us, right? Let's help each other out along this journey, not keep it to ourselves. Let's keep siloed, but let's help each other and let's look like together, where do we want to go? Where do we want to achieve this? The more we can be clear about that, then we can say yes to these things that get us there and no to those things that don't. So just empowering you tonight to think about that. Some fun stories about where I have been just even today and along my career. I'll continue to come and share these ideas and insights with you. And I would just love to hear from you. Appreciate you guys jumping on with me tonight. I just wanted to get on for a little bit and share this idea of what are you looking at, and helping you along the way. So have an amazing night. I look forward to talking with you guys again tomorrow. All right. Take care. Bye all.